Dave the Diver was released for the Nintendo Switch console on October of 2023 and PlayStation 5 on April of 2024. I played it during my vacation on Nintendo Switch while I was on the plane, but I also checked it out on the PlayStation 5 through the PlayStation Plus subscription. The footage you're seeing right now on screen is the PlayStation 5 version. It currently retails for $20 but it does go on sale for 40% off. So, is Dave the Diver worth playing on console? This review is going to answer that question. Yep, Dave the Diver is good. It's a really great casual game that you can play on the plane or a train on Switch in short little bites, or to just relax at the end of a stressful day. There's a story that you can follow, but you can also just fish and run your restaurant or even play a bunch of minigames. But before we get into all that, let's talk about the technicals of Dave the Diver. The game runs really well on both Switch and PlayStation 5. That shouldn't be a surprise since it does have that retro 16-bit graphical style, so there's no frame rate drops or game-breaking bugs, although I did find several times that the dialogue would repeat itself, as if the game was trying to progress the story but got stuck and had to reset the story process. It didn't crash on me or affect my progress, so it was just a rare and odd glitch that didn't bother me too much. For graphics, Dave the Diver looks and feels like a really well-done Super Nintendo game. I mean, it looks way better than any SNES game would have been at that time, but in my head, I'm like, that's how Super Nintendo used to look. Then you go back and play SNES games, and you feel really old, and you question both your eyesight and your memory. But Dave the Diver is really pleasant to look at. The characters are memorable looking and well designed, the environments change as you progress through the story, and they always keep things interesting. Overall, Dave the Diver takes that retro look and owns it, and I never got tired of looking at the screen. Alright, let's dive into the story of Dave the Diver. You play as Dave, a diver who is on vacation when you get a call from your buddy telling you he just bought a sushi shop next to the Blue Hole, which is this deep, mysterious location in the ocean that constantly changes and has a lot of rare fish. Dave dives into the ocean to get those fish for the restaurant during the day and works there at night. The first part of the story is just trying to keep the restaurant up and running, with Dave meeting a bunch of interesting characters and trying to fill their sushi desires and to make money to fix up the restaurant after an earthquake shakes things up inside. Dave dives deeper into the sea and he starts seeing that things in the Blue Hole aren't exactly normal. He finds relics belonging to an ancient civilization of sea people and giant sea creatures. I don't want to spoil the story too much, but it does have a few mysteries to solve, some interesting things happen to Dave along the way, and overall, the story is just good enough to keep you playing, but Dave the Diver is more about the gameplay side than the story. Alright, so the gameplay. The game has two main parts, along with a bunch of minigames. The diving side and the restaurant running. The diving involves Dave diving into the ocean to find ingredients for the sushi restaurant. He's armed with a harpoon that spears fish to haul them in and a knife to slash them if they get too close. Eventually, Dave gets access to guns that shoot underwater but have limited ammunition. As you fish, you can only hold so much before you have to go to the boat and drop off all your loot. You can dive twice during the day and later once during the night before the restaurant opens. When serving sushi, the cook will prepare the dishes that you selected on the menu from a limited amount of ingredients you hauled back from the sea. Once the ingredients are out, the menu item is unavailable and you need to select something else. The restaurant is your main source of income to purchase upgrades to Dave's abilities. You can make him dive deeper and for longer, upgrade his weapons and equipment, and let him carry more weight. So that's the basic game cycle: dive for fish and do side missions and run the restaurant. There's a bunch of side activities to do, like find specific items for people or prepare certain dishes, all with their own rewards. For combat in Dave the Diver, that involves aiming their harpoon or gun and shooting the enemy, while Dave moves slowly. There are quick time events like press the circle button at the right time, but they aren't in every fight. But the game has a ton of minigames. Half the boss battles are combat, while the other half may be minigames like Guitar Hero, the Space Shooter, even Balatro makes an appearance, although it's a toned down and light version that lacks a lot of the features of the full game. Overall, the gameplay of Dave the Diver is the right mix of fun, relaxation, and sometimes challenging, with only a few frustrating sections that are few and far between. All right, let's go into the pros and cons of Dave the Diver. For the pros, the game has a fun, casual, and short gameplay loop that's perfect for like 10 to 20-minute chunks while you're traveling. The game looks great with its retro art style. Dave the Diver is surprisingly addictive, and I easily put in over 30 hours of gameplay just to beat the story, and I could have kept playing afterwards. And the best part, it's only $20 for all of that gameplay. For the cons, some of the gameplay sections and minigames weren't that fun and could have been tweaked or removed altogether. The first half of the game is definitely better than the second half. There comes a point when fishing and the restaurant lose a lot of its importance as you focus on the story, and I felt the game lost something there. And that's it for another review. So, is Dave the Diver worth playing in 2025 on PlayStation 5 or the Nintendo Switch? The answer is yes. There is a ton of gameplay here that's going to keep you entertained for hours, and for a $20 price tag, it's an easy recommendation. Better yet, it's on PlayStation Plus subscription service and goes on sale all the time for like 40% off, so check it out if you're interested. I'm the Casual Console Gamer, and I'll see you all in the next review.